This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Can a nigga live? Can a nigga live? Please. And I said it from the start, this is advanced darkness. This is heart of darkness. This is the jungle drum. This is the fertility goddess of chaos. They're literally going to eat your balls. They're going to cut your fucking nuts off and eat them.
Whoa, what? They're gonna what?
What's our motto? We was king. We was king.
What is good, people? What is good? Mic check. Am I coming through clear to y'all? All right, let's kill the audio a little bit on this jungle music, this boopity boop shit. What's going on? Mic check. What's good, people? How we doing tonight? We haven't done much politicking lately. We got to talk regular politics. You know, there are things happening on the American political front we just gonna get into. And then not even just the politics. There is another angle. You know, I like to tease out the black angle of things every now and then. I'm noticing there isn't a lot of pro-black love for Somalia. It just occurs to me, like, when people talk about Pan-Africa, they're mostly talking about the jungle part of Africa. I don't really think Somalia comes up for the most part in people's conception of Pan-Africa. But anyway, we'll come back to all of that. So, a crazy foreigner shot at some National Guardsmen the other day. There was a lady serving and she was killed. She eventually died. And Trump is feeling some type of way about that whole thing, y'all.
U.S. officials say that the suspect worked very closely with the CIA in Afghanistan for years, that he was vetted, and the vetting came up clean.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens too. It happens too often with these people. You see them. But look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other. And that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out. But they go cuckoo. Something happens to them.
Trump said, we got a lot of bad people here. We're going to get them out. They just go cuckoo. I don't know, something about this clean American air, this crystal clear drinking water, it comes right out of your, like a hole in your wall. Not a really hole, but it comes out of a faucet. Like, I don't even know if everybody in the world has a proper sink with a faucet. And I'm wondering, maybe if it's the clean air, is it the clean water, the toilet paper? I don't know what it is about America, but something makes these people just go cuckoo, as President Trump called it. Maybe it's the public transportation. I don't know. There's something going on in America. These people just snap when they get here, man.
IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came into.
And, you know, Trump is really, really short with the media, too. He just, are you stupid? Are you fucking stupid? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Who is this lady? Who hired this broad? Get this fat bitch out of here. Like, Trump is really going ham on the media lately.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
That there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you just ask them questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked. There were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful. And if you look,
You guys remember the last day in Afghanistan? The Afghanistan pullout, it was spectacular. It really was. I'm just glad we live in a day and age where stuff like that can get recorded on a little cell phone, and then the video can make it all the way around the world in a couple of hours. Great time to be alive, y'all, because that was a moment of hell and chaos and disaster. People hanging on to like a big giant C-130, trying to crawl up into the wheel wells. people falling off the plane from midair. I mean, it was glorious though. It was just it really was a thing of like, what was that quote? You will live to see modern horrors. How did that quote go? You will live to see man-made horrors. Some how did I forget the exact frame of it, but it hit the nail, the quote spot on the head. Like modern man-made horrors. And it was such a combination of American modern technology and third world backward stupidity. It really was like in a lot of ways. The moment was it was classic. It was epic. It was almost like foretelling. It was just you couldn't have written a better script of that moment where just people are trying to they desperately want to come to America, but they don't understand how a plane works, right? And so there's like this clash of civilizations and competencies and fatalities. Splendiferous. Really, just splendiferous, man.
See, there was a law passed. It makes it almost impossible not to let them in, not to certify them, so to speak, once they come in. And they came in, and they shouldn't have come in. And frankly, the whole thing was a mess. The whole Afghanistan situation was a mess. It should have never taken place. If we're going to go out, and we would have gone out because I had everybody ready to go. We were going to go out with strength and dignity and precision. And we would have left from Bagram, and we would have kept Bagram, by the way, because of its very close relationship to China and where they make their missiles. But when you let the people come in by the thousands and thousands and thousands, they made a terrible mistake.
They did make a terrible mistake. And so the Afghan thing isn't even the big thing. Like, I don't even think we have hundreds of thousands of Afghans living in America. There may be thousands, but like hundreds of thousands, I doubt if it's even cracked 100. Like, I don't even think we have that many Afghans here. You know, other countries, you know, Middle Eastern countries, probably a whole lot more. Afghans, maybe not that much, right? Now, the Somalis, though, because you know we did the we did the shock and awe thing to Somalia way before we shocked and awed Afghanistan. And it seems this is a weird policy. I don't know who comes up with these genius plans, but after we bomb a country and we like decapitate their leadership and embarrass their religious structure and all that stuff that we do, you know, go America. Can we not bring those people here after we do all that? I know it's like a crazy idea, but I mean, think about it. Like, imagine you get into a bar fight and you kick the crap out of this guy at a bar, and then you find out, well, he's homeless and he really needs a place to stay. So you let him get your couch. Maybe we don't do that anymore. I know I have crazy ideas. Don't mind me. And thank you, Carmen. Shout out to Carmen with the 5 ball. She says, I was hoping you would cover this. You know, I have all these shows queued up. I don't even cover everything I want to cover sometime, but we did get this one out. Thank you for supporting the show, Carmen. I'm glad I can get this one out for you. I almost went a different direction. It was this close. You have no idea how close I was to doing something totally different. But shout out to Carmen. Thank you for the support.
I need that money.
Some that are absolutely terrible. I look at this Crockett. This is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. All they have is crime. and she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution, the whole thing is crazy.
Now, this is Trump going at Ilhan Omar. I mean, he might be mean. I think he's harsh but accurate, about the country of Somalia. I think, who was I talking to? Vanta. Vanta is a proud upper class. I think he's a light-skinned Somalian. He's not like you Negro Somalis or whatever. He comes from light-skinned upper class Somaliland, not Somalia, Somaliland. And he will have you know that his Somaliland is nothing like those Northern African Negroes in Somalia.
Some that are absolutely terrible. I look at this Crockett. This is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution, the whole thing is crazy. I feel bad. The
whole thing is crazy, though. And there's like a meme going around. Some funny looking, dysgenic, like Indian dude saying, "Let me tell you about your countryside." And it really is that right now. It's like the nerve of foreigners to any land, mind you. Like, imagine me going to Japan telling them that they need to build more projects and more Popeyes chickens, I'm just going to have to learn how to eat sushi and whatever other weird stuff they do while I'm over there. They probably got a McDonald's, though.
The people from different countries that are not friendly to us and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them. You got to talk up.
She said how many countries? Is there a list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? And it's probably more than that.
Is that what you mean when you mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about
I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well, if that's true, she should be a congressman. And we
Trump is going all the way. Alexa, if you don't shut the fuck up. Trump is going all the way. It's like having a ghost in here.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them. You got to talk up.
She said how many countries? Is there a list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? And it's probably more than that.
Is that what you mean when you mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about
I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well, if that's true, she shouldn't be a congressman, and we should throw her the hell out of our country.
Hi, sir.
Sure. Hi.
What do the Somalians have to do with this Afghan guy who shot the national?
Nothing, but Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for? But they're ripping off our country at a level that few people have been able to see before. That's about the only thing. You talk about competence. We have Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country and our Constitution. And she comes from a country with practically no country. It's devastated. It's crime-ridden. It's a mess. It's a disgrace. And we took their people at a tremendous. We're not taking their people anymore. We're not taking their people. And we're getting a lot of their people out because they're nothing but trouble. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Go ahead.
Question about this asylum thing.
I always wondered, especially, before we even say that, let me tell you a little tidbit story here. Years and years ago, before everything went digital, you know how you had like DVDs back in the day, and DVDs kind of were a little bit of a culture unto themselves. They had little hidden features and little extra stuff in there and all that. I had the DVD of a movie that it became a favorite of mine, especially back then. I was a lot younger. We just hung out, hustled, and watched movies and shit, bullshitted all day. And we watched Black Hawk Down like so many times. Oh my God. So many. The story of Black Hawk Down, for reasons that are beyond me, America decided that we needed to go fight Somalians. And so these guys are in Somalia fighting Somalians. And one day they go in to arrest this general, whatever. Maybe let's call him General Somalian. Who cares, right? And they go in to arrest General Somalian. And they get bogged down in, like, I don't know, a 48-hour gunfight that they didn't expect. And a couple of guys, I think 19 guys got wounded or KIA, and maybe at least 1,000 Somali casualties. As the movie put it, 19 Americans and maybe 1,000 Somalis. It was really a crazy movie. They were opening up with the little birds on the rooftops. It was this crazy M60 fire, machine guns, grenade launch. It was a great movie to watch while you're just smoking and doing nothing with your life. And after watching us just OMG, just light up Somalia, years later, I noticed that we had all these Somalians living in America, in Minnesota, no less, right? And I never could understand why, after all of that, we had all these skinnies, as the movie called them. Why did we move the skinnies into Somalia? I don't even think it snows up there. Like, it's not even their natural climate. This feels like a totally weird thing all around. But after that whole movie, we decided it'd be a great idea to bring the skinnies into Somalia. And now the skinnies are running all kind of scams because apparently that's what they do. They don't have a government worth scamming over there. That's probably why they don't have a government at all. But over here with a functioning, wealthy, thriving government, they just figured out how to run it down. And that's where Trump came in. And now you guys are going to go home. You got caught, and now everybody's got to go home.
I'll tell you what does not add to our nation's character and integrity is refugees who come here under the alleged plight of asylum and fleeing persecution, and then come to the United States to abuse our system and rip off American taxpayers. And as I pointed out, the New York Times, to their credit, it was about 6 months too late, but they did write about how Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far,
78 out of 86 people, that's easily 90%, right? I'm not even doing the math. I'm just confident it's 90% easily. And you got to understand that the liberal media especially does not like to get ethnically particular unless they can blame it on white folk. But the liberal media really doesn't like you picking on the Somalians in particular. It's a racism unto itself. Even if 90% of the fraud that's coming out of Minnesota is basically Somalian scams. It is not just the one. It's layers, all right? It's multiple things they got going on. I hear there's car theft, multiple types of insurance fraud. I think there's obviously food stamp fraud, healthcare fraud. Did you know they have an autism scandal in Minnesota too? Apparently, all the Somalian children that are born in America, they catch the autism, bro. I tell you, something about this clean water and this fresh air, this public transportation, this free food, it gives people the tism, bro. And so now allegedly a lot of Somali children, like an incredibly high percentage of Somali children have been diagnosed with the tism, and they get money because the tism is a way to get money.
59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers. In one scheme, and this is egregious, a nonprofit and its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya.
Now, imagine what they did with all the money that we sent directly to Africa. You remember back when we used to feed Africa directly, save the children and all that? Remember that? Now those children they've grown up and they're here to scam us personally. They scammed us at a distance when they were children. Now they're all growing up and they feel like we've grown up together and they can come, amidst us and be one of us, and they can scam us, face to face like friends do. The circle of scamming is complete.
And its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya. Another scheme involved hundreds of organizations who were reimbursed for services that were supposed to help people at risk of homelessness. Once again, those services were never provided. All of this has happened under Democrat leadership in a Democrat-run state where these refugees, these migrants are coming to the United States. They are abusing our system. They are draining our resources that should be going to law-abiding, taxpayer-funded, tax-paying Americans. And this president is not going to put up with it anymore.
Thank you, nice white lady, for explaining to all the other ladies out there why it's F them kids. Always and ever and only F them kids, y'all. Shout out to Dick Dug with the fireball. Any colored person who tries to put 2 cents in when it comes to running America is equivalent to a woman trying to tell them how to construct a house. Yeah, you said it. I didn't. You said it. Shout out to Dick Dug and his $5 and his lack of faith in Black people running America. I understand. I do.
These blacks.
So the crackdown is coming. And all the foreign Negroes are afraid. Foreign Negroes mad, y'all.
Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad. Hoes mad.
In Nashville, Councilman Elijah Foster, he help you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family.
A councilwoman in Nashville A councilwoman in Nashville. A councilwoman in Nashville, Tennessee. I thought this was America, people.
Hello, Nashville. Councilwoman Adlizer Foster here. Help you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. I was actually hoping today to spend a quiet time with my loved ones when I got a text and an email from people today telling me about the bill by Senator Tuberville that is Islamophobic and talking about sending every immigrant Islamist out of America.
Yes. Now we have a councilwoman in Nashville saying that you can't be Islamophobic. You know, if there's any place in America that should be Islamophobic, I think Nashville should start. You know, it's like Deep South kind of. They got the music, you know, they got the spirit, they got the history, they got the churches. If we're going to have Islamophobia anywhere in America, it's got to be in the South. I don't know where the hell you thought you were, bitch. Like, we need to send you back first.
This bill was as a result of the horrific incidents that just happened. And I want to say that I want to send my condolences to the family of Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. I'm also sending my prayers to USF for Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and wishing him a speedy recovery. But let's be clear, what happened was wrong, and the person that did it should be punished. But we should not, under no circumstances, be attacking innocent people that had nothing to do with it. I've been in this country for so long, and I've seen so many attacks happen, horrific attacks. But
you don't really sound like you've been here that long, honestly. I mean, you speak English well enough that I could understand you, but how long could you have been here really? Like, you definitely didn't grow up here.
Never at once when it's somebody that is not of
got here when you were 30 years old
or go after their family. But every time that is someone that says they're Muslims, then every Muslims are under attack. We now have to defend our allegiance to this country. We have to talk about how we have nothing to do with it. And this is always all the time, and it's not right. It is not right. Why do I have to always talk about my allegiance and to America and what it means to America and how proud and how supportive I am of this country? There's so many Muslims living in this country. There's so many Muslims that are...
You know what? You don't even have to talk about it because I'll never believe it. I'll always think you're doing that tacky thing. I know too much to trust now. I've been red-pilled about you too. I know too much to trust. Don't even let me get started on the history of Islamic conquest and whatnot and how it happens. Oh, no, we're not even going to do that. I'm not even going to blame you for that. Even though you wouldn't even be a Muslim if they hadn't came in with horses and the little curved swords and all. You know what? Never mind.
Contributing to the welfare of this country every day. Muslims have been here since the time of slave trade. And so why is it that every time something happens, we always go after Muslims? This bill is Islamophobic. This bill is calling for attack on Muslims. This bill is going to target innocent people. And please don't buy it when somebody said, no, this is just going to be black people. No, it's not. This is the same thing that happened with ICE when they said it's criminals only, but they're going after innocent people. I cannot.
Yes, you know what? I think it is right and moral and proper to send the good ones home too. Send the good ones back. How can they make their country great again if we only send the bad ones back, right? How can we make Afghanistan great again? How can we make Haiti great again? How can we make Somalia great again if we only send the bad ones back? Send the good ones back too. They have money. They have skills. They have a network. They have resources, right? They have ideas. Send them niggas home so they can dream big.
Tell you the type of email and things that I've got because of things like this. Please, I'm begging every one of you, please reject this Islamophobic bill. Tell your members of Congress not to vote for this. Yes, when somebody does something, let's punish the person, but let's not punish innocent people. Let's not go punishing a whole faith because of something that happened. Again, this is wrong. This is not right. And please, let's stop this Islamophobia. Thank you.
This really is an interesting time for so-called Pan-Africanism to kind of be not just on the downslope in terms of like popularity, but to be literally under attack online. Because Trump is going after Somalians, he's going after Haitians right now. Like a lot of, a lot of our alleged cousins, you know what I mean? Like it's one thing with the Somalians, like, because they're far away, but it's Africa, right? So they got the Africa pass, right? But the Haitians will have their protective status removed too. The Haitians are getting the belt too. Everybody's getting the belt, y'all.
For all my Haitians out there, listen up. Trump decided to lever matin, li décidé, comme ça, pas gen TPS encore. There will be no more TPS, temporary protected status, starting commencer February 3, okay? February 3rd, okay?
You heard that?
No more TPS.
Commencer February 3. All right? February 3. You have until the 3 of February to get your Haitian ass up out of here.
All my Haitians out there, listen up. Trump decided to lever matin, li décidé, comme ça, pas gen TPS encore. There will be no more TPS, temporary protected status, starting commencer February 3, okay? February 3rd, okay? No more TPS, which I might add affects.
I'll tell you what, let's make a deal. Let's think about this. I'm going to offer a deal, and you guys tell me if you think this is a good deal, right? If they all go home, if they all, self-deport, and we round up a couple of stragglers, it's cool. Doesn't have to be total 100%. But if they self-deport, we'll stop telling people about the cats and dogs that are missing, all right? Do you think that's a fair deal? You self-deport, and I'll stop telling people about the cats and dogs that we still can't find. Shout out to it's Ivan's channel with the 5 ball. We tried telling you Western Europe's neoliberal super woke Islamic agenda is coming near you. I hope Farage will follow Trump's example in the UK. Oh man, I already know the UK is way ahead of us, bro. The UK is way ahead of America on the cuck cycle. And Trump is trying to stop. He's trying to get us off the cuck cycle, but that's just the way it is, man. We're all headed down the cuck cycle, bro. Shout out to Ivan, though. Thank you for the €5.
Give me the money. Give me the money for I was cute. Give me the money.
Listen up. Trump decided to lever matin, li décidé, comme ça, pas gen TPS encore. There will be no more TPS, temporary protected status, starting commencer February 3, okay? February 3rd, okay? No more TPS, which I might add affects over 250,000 Haitians. Affects a lot of them. Because a lot of y'all are here on TPS, pas bien TPS encore, okay? Tendez bien. And pour tout Haïtien qui gagne green card la main, everybody that has a green card in their hand, Trump is now looking at your green card file and picking and choosing in Voyo Haiti. They picking and choosing who they're going to send back, okay? So for all my green card residents, ou à penser Trump pas qu'à faire, Trump leve la fait salve, ou tout mettre just à la paye ou à dépio point avant aller. Parce que
I feel like she just cursed somebody. I feel like she just threw a curse at somebody. She ain't cursed me though, because I'm protected by misogyny. But somebody out there, you got like the voodoo just put on you just now. She just put that voodoo on somebody just now. You're gonna have to cover yourself in the blood of misogyny too. All right, you got to watch out, man. These Haitian bitches know voodoo.
Voyo Haiti. They picking and choosing who they're gonna send back, okay? So for all my green card residents, ou à penser Trump pas qu'à faire, Trump leve la fait salve, ou tout mettre juste à la paye ou à dépio point avant aller. Parce que si vous pas prendre avion et parlant avion, vous mettez pour déporter mettre Haïti non? Et tout yo parle tout yo pont oui, et vrai oui pas caca non, et vrai. Tout le monde ça ice ski point, yo pas retourner non? Même famille yo pa ka krele yo sou
Damn, she does kind of look like Godfrey too.
téléphone non non. Ça c'est bagay sérieux, oui, point sérieux, oui.
No, we. Bye bye. You must go. Oh man, you know, one of the funniest things about modern internet, we live in a time where Africa has the internet. And it's not just like Africans in America. It's not like, it's not like Africans on Lenox Avenue. You know what I mean? It's not like the Africans in Newark or whatever. It's actual Africa is on the internet, and it's some of the most fascinating internet ever. I could never internet the way Africa internets. I couldn't even conceive of it the way Africa does.
On today's Mission Impossible, I decided to eat 5 slices of bread with my salary beans. My wife was just laughing like, what the hell? What are you eating? I say it's salary. What's this green thing? Salary. What is salary? Salary is a green leaf or fruit. You guys should decide on your own. So I was downing it. She said, you must finish this food. I said, definitely. Now I used to finish all my food. Sit down with me. She said she would sit down with me and watch me finish everything. Okay, let's go, guys. Before I knew it, my wife started thinking of her life. How did I meet this man? How would he finish a whole pot of beans just under how many minutes? Oh, but wow, she couldn't even wait for me to finish it. So I started dozing off. I just looked at my wife before I knew I saw her. Wait, here happen. You're already sleeping off. Guys, look at my wife sleeping off. I only used 35 minutes and you're sleeping off. Wake up, G, Masun. Oh, yeah, go and sleep inside if you know you can't watch and stay. While I finish the food, I have just 2 slices left. I have half a pot of beans left and few more.
Why is he so sweaty though? I mean, it really, like, something in that room has to stay because he's really sweaty, and that food that I put this on Twitter because I'm trying to find a clip now because I call them Star Wars people eating Star Wars food, and they're probably in a Star Wars like space department somewhere.
Salaries. If you cannot watch me, just go and sleep inside. My wife gave up. She said, no worry, I did go sleep. I can't condone all this. I'm tired. Do right there. You're tired. Go and sleep. Before I knew it, I had one more slice. So I shouting, Atasa, Atasa, Atasa. Forget that one
What
before I
is
knew
that?
it. See, I had just few left.
It's like he's eating little pieces of furniture. What is that? And then like there was so many of them. Like, what are these, like little towels or something? He like made a little taco wrap out of it. Like, what is this?
The hell? What are you eating?
Somebody with more culture than me. I need your help. Somebody with more worldly experience than me. What is that?
My salary beans. My wife was just laughing like, what the hell? What are you eating? I say it's salary. What's this green thing? Salary. What is salary? Salary is a green leaf or fruit. You guys should decide on your own. So I was downing it. She said, you must finish this food. I said, definitely. Now you finish all my food. Sit down with me. She said she would sit down with me and watch me finish everything. Okay, let's go, guys. Before I knew it, my wife started thinking of her life. How did I meet this man? How would he finish a whole pot of beans just under how many minutes? Oh, but wow, she couldn't even wait for me to finish it. So I started dozing off. I just looked at my wife before I knew I saw her. Wait, here happen. You're already sleeping off. Guys, look at my wife sleeping off. I only used 35 minutes and you're sleeping off. Wake up, G, Masun. Oh, yeah, go and sleep inside if you know you can't watch and stay. While I finish the food, I have just 2 slices left. I have half a pot of beans left and few more salaries. If you cannot watch me, just go and sleep inside. My wife gave up. She said, no worry, I did go sleep. I can't condone all this. I'm tired. Do right there. You're tired. Go and sleep. Before I knew it, I had one more slice. So I shouting, Atasa, Atasa, Atasa. Forget that one before I knew it. Oh, see, I had just few left and small bite left. I beat by both beats, started brushing my teeth with it. Let me clean up, scrape everything. I was so tired. It's not easy. I started exercising. This is what will make the food blast and boom. Let's go, guys.
My bad, y'all. I'm trying to dig up this other clip. I don't know where I'm gonna find it. I think I gotta just go through my tweets individually. But I saw this, and I remember I was covering this a while ago. Like there's this one African family, and they do this all the time. Like this is just their content, just weird African food. And I'm like, this can't even be food. This got to be something. This can't be real. This can't be y'all food. This cannot be how you survive in the harsh African continent. This is what I mean. Star Wars people eating Star Wars food. I don't even think that came from an animal on this planet. Like you have to travel at least 5 parsecs to get an animal like that. Fucking Jawas, bro. This is that thing that Luke had to crawl into on that winter planet. He just took out his lightsaber, cut a hole in the gut, and huddled up until the storm was over. And now they're eating one of those things. And some goop. Star Wars animal and goop. I don't even know how you make goop. And like you have to make it in a non-stick pan. How do Africans even come up with a non-stick bowl? Because there's no way to make goop that doesn't stick to something. So you got to have a non-stick bowl. Maybe they came to America and they discovered magical pots, but you need a non-stick bowl to properly serve goop. Look at this, man. Look at that. Goop. Goop and sloop. Goop and sloop. This is goop and sloop. And they're going to add like Star Wars meat to it in a minute.
Bismillah. 6 to 6. La meow meow.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm glad they're happy. I am happy that they are well fed and they're hitting their calorie intake for the day and all that, right? I'm happy for them, right? But I want to be happy for them further away from me. That's all. I know I'm weird in particular like that, but I want to be happy for them at a greater distance than we currently are right now. They're in America somewhere figuring out how to buy goop from ShopRite. Next thing you know, ShopRite's going to have a sale on goop materials and stuff. It's going to be crazy. They're going to slowly take over. There's going to be goop stands. Kids are going to be running around. Your kids are going to be like, Mommy, can I get a cup of goop? No, you can't eat that shit. Like, this is how it starts, bro. Little by little. Next thing you know, it's goop everywhere.
Goop.
Did he call it goop? He called it goop.
6 to 6. La meow meow. Goop.
You see the good goop. He said the good goop. He called it goop. He said the good goop. The good, and she's smacking it. That's how you know it's good. When you smack it and it jiggle like a stripper booty, that's that good goop. That's probably what they put in stripper booty, honestly. Or they need to. That that at least it's biodegradable. So if that shit bursts, you just absorb it.
La meow meow. Goop.
The only thing that would make this video better, the only thing they need to add to this video, if that bitch would have said tenderism. She should have stuck her fingers in the goop and let the goop roll off of her fingers, and she should have been like, tenderism.
Lekmo! Bismillah! Bismillah! 6 to 6. La 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 la! Na meow meow. Egugu.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's it's disgusting enough. The sounds they make on top of the way the food looks like, oh come on, I'm trying not to be racist to y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna be racist to y'all just because of your food alone. I was trying to be cool, but your food is making me racist. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about Ilhan Omar's people in Minnesota. So they brought about 80,000 of these Somali Muslims in. They grouped them in one spot, and then they used that to elect her to Congress. That's how she got there. Okay. Now, one thing you need to remember, according to the stats, is over 90% of these people have availed themselves of some sort of social service welfare program. Okay. Now, the authorities in Minnesota have a huge investigation because these themselves of some sort of need to remember, according to the stats, is over 90% of these people have availed themselves of some sort of social service welfare program.
Just inviting the homeless into your home, and it's like they're just going to be homeless on your couch now.
Okay, now the authorities in Minnesota have a huge investigation because these people have come up with all kind of different scams. Scams saying they're going to feed children, scams for housing, scams for fake marriages, fake divorces, you name it. They came here and they started scamming the system like nobody would believe. And these are her people all grouped together in Minnesota. We're going to talk about Dearborn, Michigan soon, too. Let's talk about Ilhan Omar's people in Minnesota. So they brought about 80,000 of these Somali Muslims in. They grouped.
So Trump is planning to deport a whole community of Somalis in Minnesota. He posted on his Truth Social that he will end the protection for the people of Somali origin, who are apparently they have the largest community in Minnesota. So, like thousands of Somalis live in Minnesota, and Trump said that he is going to deport them because he said that they are terrifying the people of the United States of America. Could I say, I think at this point, it looks like Trump has completely lost his mind.
You know what? Not only are they running all kind of scams, but they actually have Somali street gangs, right? So they got like essentially organized crime level scams. Like when you start dealing with like Medicare fraud, like that organized crime is into that type of stuff too, right? So they got high level sophisticated scams, got people, fake patients at doctors' offices billing Medicare, that kind of deal. And they got regular street gangs too. Just niggas on the corner straight slanging rocks. Little Somalian niggas out there dope selling.
marbles. I mean, he lost them a very long time ago, but now he's just, before, like, you remember what he just used to be tweeting everything when he was like, he'll be tweeting all night. I think he's gone back to tweeting all night. Like, what have the Somalis done to you? I don't know. I've never been to Minnesota, so I have no idea what the Somalis in Minnesota are getting up to. But to say that a whole community, the young, the old, the infirm, the whole community are in gangs, that's insane.
Pretty troubling story. On the steps of a church in South Nashville, a woman died after being sexually assaulted while she was unconscious.
Our Dryden Quigley talked to people who work just feet away from where this happened.
It was actually the Nashville Fire Department.
She got assaulted to death. Or maybe it's just because he was Somalian and she just couldn't handle the shock of it all. She's like, oh, the shame, and she just died. But either way.
That was driving by around 9:30 last night when they saw the sexual assault taking place right here on these church steps. Security video that they have captured everything that led up to it. Just before this, police say the church's cameras show a woman walking unsteadily towards the steps. A man who they say is 39-year-old Mohammed sits down beside her and tries to touch her.
Oh, not the two Muhammads, bro. Anytime you get the double Muhammad, you in for a party, bro. It's one thing when it's just the one Muhammad, but anytime you get the double M's, bro, that's two. That's two M's for one, bro. Like, it's crazy when that happens to you.
A woman walking unsteadily towards the steps. A man who they say is 39-year-old Mohammed sits down beside her and tries to touch her as she pushes him away. Then they say she starts to go in and out of consciousness. That's when Mohammed picks her up, then repeatedly assaults her. The fire department stepped in and she was taken to the hospital where she died.
Pretty troubling story. On the steps of a church in South Nashville.
So she just died. She just died. Like that's over. She just died. I hate the news sometimes. Like, I really do. I mean, she just died. Like so he just hunched to death. Like that's what it was. He just hunched so hard that she just died. I'm telling you, mate, it's because he was Somalian. Her delicate. I gotta do my Uncle Ruckus voice. Her delicate, white, Sabine. No. Her, that alabaster skin. It couldn't handle the pressure and the viciousness and the savage nature of that dark North African with his foreign god. Of course she died. What else was she supposed to live?
A woman died after being sexually assaulted while she was unconscious.
Our Dryden Quigley talked to people who work just feet away from where this happened.
It was actually the Nashville Fire Department that was driving by around 9:30 last night when they saw the sexual assault taking place right here on these church steps. Security video that they have captured everything that led up to it. Just before this, police say the church's cameras show a woman walking unsteadily towards the steps. A man who they say is 39-year-old Mohammed sits down beside her and tries to touch her as she pushes him away. Then they say she starts to go in and out of consciousness. That's when Mohammed picks her up, then repeatedly assaults her. The fire department stepped in and she was taken to the hospital where she died.
So the fire department stepped in. What was that like? You gotta imagine, in 50 years, it's been like 75 years, right? In the last 75 years, if there was ever a time that you could legitimately use the fire hose on an individual, I mean, come on. How do you not use the fire hose? I mean, like they're so you're the fire department and you got this fire truck, you got this giant water cannon vehicle, and you come upon someone on the church steps. Do you understand the moment you're in? I feel like I've been called up to the big leagues suddenly. Like he's on the church steps. I have this giant water cannon vehicle, and he is sexually violating an unconscious woman on the church steps. No, Miss Cantrell, you don't understand. Pardon me, ma'am. I have to hose this man down for your safety, okay? You move the lady out of the way, and you make sure he cannot move off that place, all right? It doesn't matter how it's done. We have to hit him with the fire hose, all right? He has to get hit with the water cannon. There's no other way. Or not only did we catch him mid-violation, you're doing it on the church steps, all right? By his laws, we're supposed to brutally assault him, right? By his own culture and customs, he should be hanging upside down by 1 foot from a tree while children throw objects at him. There's no way, like, this boy interrupted bullshit. No, we should have hit him with the fire hose until the skin came off of his body. We should have peeled him like a grape.
Pretty troubling story on the.
Anyway.
Families need the relief. We need leaders who will invest in our neighbors, not attack them. The Somali community in Minnesota is a backbone of the state. We contribute to the economy, we serve our communities, we raise families, and we do it with pride. We move to communities in greater Minnesota that have been decimated by the bad practices of the big corporation interest. And bring small local business, like here today, multi-generational income, and help with restoration. I am saying this to say we are greater than fear, and to my Somali community, Iskasha Tomakufto, which means when people stand together, they do not fall.
Wanting to be replaced. Look at all these goofy, suicidal white liberals. It really is a weird death cult with a lot of extra steps. It's like a death cult for people who are afraid to drink the Kool-Aid. They want to take it. They want to take as long as possible with as much pain as they can manage.
Families need the relief. We need leaders who will invest in our neighbors, not attack them. The Somali community in Minnesota is a backbone of the state. We contribute to the economy, we serve our communities, we raise families, and we do it with pride. We move to communities in greater Minnesota that have been decimated by the bad practices of the big corporation interest. And bring small local business, like here today, multi-generational income, and help with restoration. I am saying this to say we are greater than fear, and to my Somali community, Iskasha Tomakufto, which means when people stand together, they do not fall. We will continue to show up for one another with courage. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, and I want to end with this. We're gonna do one more chant, and we're gonna have some great food. All right, you guys ready for that? All right, you're gonna say Manta Manta. Wamalim wene Manta.
Wamalim wene Manta.
Manta Manta Manta.
Manta Manta Manta.
Wamalim wene Manta.
Wamalim wene Manta.
You know, sometimes I actually do hate white people, but not for the reasons that the average black person hates white people. My beef with white people is entirely different. It really is. Sometimes I really do hate you guys. I swear to God, like, what's wrong with you people?
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like,
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
Official. Manta, 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 Omani waiting, Manta, 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 Omani waiting, Manta. We are greater than? We are greater than? We are greater than? All right, everyone, thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate you all. Grab some food.
I wish all of these women would go on one of those like third world hikes around, you know, to prove that it's not as dangerous. Every time one of those white girls go to one of these third world countries and go walking in places they shouldn't be just to prove it's not dangerous, they never come back. And I wish those ladies would go on one of those vacations. But anyway, here's a guy getting deported. Back to Somalia you go.
Oh, don't be, man.
Crying like a bitch. I thought y'all was tough, bro. I thought y'all was gangsters over there. I thought y'all was pirates over there. King of the seas and shit, right? I thought y'all ran everything on the water over there. From between here and Oman, nigga. Like, I thought y'all ran this. What happened? Ain't no crying on a pirate ship. You're gonna have to get ready for your new life, bro. You can cry in America. We allow you to be a homosexual here. You can't cry on a pirate ship. They don't play that in Somalia.
Oh, don't be, man. Move back. Out the way, Rose. Out the way. You're gonna get knocked down. Move.
Are they sending in the black people to arrest the Somalians? That would be hilarious. But I thought Somalia, you know, the Somalians keep telling me how dope Somalia is. Like, I don't know why he acting all brand new. Like, why are you afraid to go home, bro? Ain't those your people? Look, why? Like I said, it's dope. You can go home and be great in Somalia.
All roads lead to Mogadishu, Somalia. I've booked my flight. By the end of this year, I'm moving to Somalia full time, bro. The West does not want us here anymore, so it's cool. We're cutting. You man are saying all roads lead to Rome. I'm saying all roads lead to Somalia, bro. I'm gonna start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run.
How does all roads lead to Somalia when Somalia barely has roads?
All roads lead to Mogadishu, Somalia. I've booked my flight. By the end of this year, I'm moving to Somalia full time, bro. The West does not want us here anymore, so it's cool. We're cutting. You man are saying all roads lead to Rome. I'm saying all roads lead to Somalia, bro. I'm gonna start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run, but that's live. I'm trying to meet some drill rappers. I'm trying to meet a few people out there. I'm not only gonna be going to Mogadishu. Obviously, the whole country is non-extradition treaty, innit? Even though,
You know, sometimes you just gotta like. This is the thing about being older. There's a level of perspective that you can gain after a certain amount of years of collected wisdom and experience. Like experience theoretically builds wisdom. And think about the tripartite fuckness of this young man, right? Everybody remembers what it's like to be a teenager. Think about that, right? Just think about being a teenager and all that entails, right? The hormones, the lack of understanding, the raw desire, the pure stupidity. Now, think about being a teenager, right? And then think about being retarded, as some teenagers are, and he likely is a little bit, right? So he's a teenager, he's a little bit retarded, and he's Somalian. The tripartite fuckness of it all. Sometimes, as a student of life, as an observer of the human condition, sometimes a person crosses my path and I just marvel at it all. Every now and then, they're just people you're just like, that. It's amazing. You're an amazing specimen of the human condition. Like, I'm surprised that we make y'all.
Start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run, but that's live. I'm trying to meet some drill rappers. I'm trying to meet a few people out there. I'm not only gonna be going to Mogadishu. Obviously, the whole country is non-extradition treaty, innit? Even though I can't, like, why am I saying that? Because I'm not even a criminal. But bro, do you get what I'm saying? I'm tired of London. I'm tired of Northwest London. I'm tired of this whole city, bro. All roads lead to Rome. Bar now, all roads are leading to Mogadishu.
Look at that. Everybody in the Western countries doesn't like Somalians. Is that what I'm hearing? Are you becoming universally hated? Are you working your way up to 109 countries? That's crazy.
Extradition treaty, innit? Even though I can't, like, why am I saying that? Because I'm not even a criminal. But bro, do you get what I'm saying? I'm tired of London. I'm tired of Northwest London. I'm tired of this whole city, bro. All roads lead to Rome. Bar now, all roads are leading to Mogadishu, Somalia, bro. I'm moving. I'm gone. Muslim country. We're gonna rebuild our country from the ground up, and I'm gonna be the first one to do it, bro. Let's go. End of this year, it's to Somalia. Here we go. I can't wait. Bro, I don't know the language, but I'm gonna learn it.
Bro. I don't know which part he's gonna hate worse. The sexual assault or the ritual cannibalism. I'm sure he'll have a little bit of time to think about it, but I don't know. He's gonna have to figure it out. Him and God will laugh about it later, but I hear Somalia is really nice though. I keep hearing Somalia is nice and they make beautiful people and beautiful women.
السلام عليكم أبايو وسقالي تنجر صومالي جوكا أهل الدين ما هي تري
Listen, she is a Somali marriage broker. And she's offering up a 19-year-old practicing cis in Somalia looking for a brother in USA to start a family with. All right, so any of you passport bros how come you passport niggas don't passport to Somalia, bro? You ever notice how non-pro-black the average passport bro is? Why is that? Why do most of the passport bros passport in non-African countries? I just noticed that, like, over the years, I'm like, so, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Paraguay, Chile, dudes be all up and down the southern continent. But like 3 niggas done went to Africa. And they didn't stay long. O'Shea is the one nigga that stayed in Africa. And you know what O'Shea does? He been in Africa long enough. He's starting to tell niggas, you don't really want to come here. Like, he locked in. I think he done sold his soul for a bitch with a golden spear or something, but that nigga not coming back. But he's warning other niggas, don't come over here. It's not sweet. He's not sweet. How come y'all niggas don't passport in Africa? You can get you a 19-year-old virgin Muslim. Theoretically virgin, because there's no test for the anus, but theoretically she's a virgin.
ما شاء الله نور عسل قلي على رقم family بركيسن أصل اسمه So inshallah hada bayartid waa reer Soomaaliya wiilashana Soomaaliya ka guursan jiray gabadhan hada rabtid ila soo xiriir. Assalaamu calaykum abaayo waa 19.
You know, Mr. Enigma, I have heard that not only do the African women want white men, but Africans in general prefer white tourism to black. I guess white tourism is colder. But that's the deal. They really don't want you. You're not the Westerners that they really were expecting. Like when they hear Westerners are coming, they don't expect your black ass.
In this country, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abate terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis, not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his vice president repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it.
All right, how come Haitians aren't known for scams and frauds, right? Why didn't we accuse Haitians of running $1 billion welfare fraud system, right? Why didn't we accuse Haitians of running some type of immigration fraud? We're only accusing Somalis of these particular things. Why are we focusing on your particular group for these particular crimes? Like, why aren't we accusing Somalis of eating cats, right? Think about that. If it's such a powerful, vicious lie, why isn't Trump saying, hey, you know what? I heard them Somalians, they got a recipe for cat. They call it al-Katan. Yeah. I hear it's really big. It's really big in Mogadishu. Why don't we make up a rumor about the Somalians eating cats, right? How come these are very particular rumors or accusations, rather, about very particular groups of people? Is it possible that particular groups of people have particular patterns of behavior that they somehow just fall into collectively?
As a headline, as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth, but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans.
Look at her acting all indignant. You know, for the last couple of days, I just kept seeing all these liberal pussies on Twitter just glazing Somali testicles, just all up and
So
down
that's
the
been pointed out by
timeline.
the other speakers. We welcome our immigrant neighbors and we treat them with respect and we treat them with dignity. It's been 50 years since the Vietnam War when we welcomed Hmong and Lao war veterans who fought alongside American forces during the secret war in Laos. They were welcomed into our communities. And during the 1990s, during the Somali Civil War, Minnesota again provided a safe new home for families displaced by extreme violence. The Minnesota immigrant communities are making contributions that make our neighborhood and our nation a better place. Republicans continue to single out Democratic states that follow federal immigration law, turning our neighbors into scapegoats to win votes. I'm ready to get to work, seriously, about fixing our broken immigration system. It's time for the Trump and Republicans to come to the table if they truly care about comprehensive reform that upholds American values and keeps our country safe. But instead, for months, Trump has been stoking tensions across the country with reckless and illegal mass deportations that violate the essence of America, due process. Across America, he is illegally deploying National Guard at the cost of millions of dollars a day. In Washington, D.C., it's $1.3 billion a day for the deployed National Guard. Now, back to late Friday night, when he hurled an ugly late-night threat against Minnesota's Somali community. You have to ask yourself why. It's because Trump and Republicans are doing nothing to address the real crisis facing us as Americans. U.S. economy is in shambles, the cost of living is soaring, and the Trump and Republicans have created a healthcare crisis, and they failed to deliver on essential heating assistance for Minnesotans this winter. We know that when Donald Trump's in trouble, he always falls back to what he knows, throwing attacks and creating chaos. Americans deserve better than Trump's attacks and his misinformation about what's happening here in Minnesota. Here's the reality. Crime is declining. We continue to be ranked as one of the best states to start a business and raise a family. And if Trump and House Republicans are serious about addressing the real challenges facing our country, they wouldn't be attacking. They would be listening to Minnesotans, seeing their healthcare premiums rise, struggling to afford Trump's tax on tariffs, and that affects everything from groceries to gas to heating. I want to be clear. An attack against one of us is an attack against all of us. So I'm proud to stand up for our Minnesota values today with my brothers and sisters. I thank Governor Walz and Attorney Keith Ellison for all that they do to move things forward in court. And I'm so proud to stand with my brothers and sisters in the Minnesota House and Senate. We haven't changed our values since I served here. And let me say it again, an attack against one of us is an attack against all of us. Thank you.
Or both. What is your response to President Trump, Governor?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me express my condolences to the families of the National Guardsmen. They're out there doing their duty. They serve us. As a commander-in-chief of the National Guard and someone who served, we have a responsibility to put them in a position where they're protected and they have a clear mission. And so I would express my condolences there. Look, Donald Trump insulting me is a badge of honor for me, but I think we all know, as both as an educator for a couple decades and as a parent, using that term is just so damaging. It's hurtful. We have fought 3 decades to get this out of our schools. Kids know better than to use it. But look, this is what Donald Trump has done. He's normalized this type of hateful behavior and this type of language. And mainly, look, at first, I think it's just because he's not a good human being. But secondly, to distract from his incompetency. We know we just came through a Thanksgiving where prices are up. We know people are concerned about heating their homes as we're experiencing blizzards out here. At the same time, he's cutting those programs. So look, we cannot allow this to be normalized. The people who Trump is, like this is language police. You guys are woke. Many times it's just about being decent to people and making them feel included. You can use that word. Sure, you can use that language, but you shouldn't. And that's something that Donald Trump.
Why should we be decent to people when we're talking about people robbing you? Like when you're being robbed to the tune of billions of dollars, is decency really the biggest concern that you have? Like, I want to describe the problem accurately, and I wouldn't mind a little bit of colorful language at the same time. Like, who gives a shit about being decent?
Fails to realize. But again, Kristen, this is cruelness. This is meanness. It's aimed at a broader community. And as far as demonizing our Somali community, Maybe he could help us on some things. Demonizing an entire community, folks who are in the professions, educators, artists, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, they bring the diversity and the energy to a place like Minnesota. And for him to just randomly decide to do this, it makes no sense. Do your job.
Now they're doctors and lawyers and engineers and shit, right? I bet. Is one of your doctors when he gets back home.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Just pray to God just. I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. You guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone. I'm just so tired. No.
Let's take a look at the actual Somali neighborhoods. Let's see what happens when people show up to Somalia to try to get a little bit of boots on the ground.
I saw you about to throw down here in the middle of the street. Hey, man, listen. These people hate our country. They hate everything we stand for. We have to oppose them everywhere they go, all right? Black or white. If you're a Christian in this country, these people hate your way of life. They oppose your existence. We can no longer allow this. They come over here with their Ford Fusions. Go back to your country, all right? Go back to Somalia. Bye-bye. Go back. You think any of this is...
I never caught this black kid's name, but he's like a new up-and-coming coon on the rise. Getting some real hard Uncle Ruckus vibes from this young man. I'm going to keep my eye on him, see how hard his cooning goes, how far he can take his cooning.
Fear-mongering from the right. No, it's necessary. You know, it's not fear-mongering. We need to do this because we're looking what's happening across the pond in Europe, in Berlin, and France, all over, and London. Do we want to be like that? No. And black people, guess what? This country that you live in, you benefit from it. You should stand with your Christian brothers. Stand with our white brothers and sisters. This is our country that we've built together. We lose it, we have nothing. We lose this land, there's nothing else. You're not going to go to Africa and survive. You're not going to go to the Middle East and survive. Guess what? America was built by Christians. White people conquered the land, black people.
Yo, even if I could survive in Africa, like theoretically, let's say I could just go to Africa and let's say I could really hit it big and become a warlord, right? Let's say I could really survive in Africa, you know? I don't want to. You know, even if I could, even if I was really good at it, even if I was to like revolutionize the game, I don't really want to be the next General Butt Naked. You know? I don't. Listen, I'm going to wait till America falls before I actually flex my post-apocalyptic muscles, but I'm not going to do that shit in Africa. I'm not doing that for you niggas. No, I'm doing that in America, right? We got to rebuild this shit here in America, right? I'm not going to be Negan for those niggas. I'm going to be Negan right here.
You'll benefit from it. We have to stand up for it. That's important.
But I like this kid, though. He's coming up in the coon game. He's up and coming in the coon game. Well, let's see what happens when you show up in Somalia.
Like being a Muslim here in the United States.
I'm not speaking English. Only one Somali language.
What does it mean to you to be a part of Islam?
I don't know. I'm not speaking English very well.
How are you? Do any of you speak English? English? No. Can women speak on camera? No. I kept going because I wanted to speak with some more of the elders here to see if they could share their story about coming here from Somalia and how they've seen the rise firsthand. However, none of them spoke English. How are you? Can I ask any of you guys some questions? No? Speaking?
We basically have a Muslim no-go zone right here in America. I thought no-go zones were like European things, but right here in America, bro.
Speak English?
English no.
No? Do any of you speak English? After a few interviews, somebody came up to us angry because we were asking people about the rise of Islam inside this community. My name is Dick Shirley. What are you doing? My name is Dick Shirley. I'm a YouTuber.
We're doing a video on the rise of Islam here in the United States.
The rise of Islam.
Yeah, it's the #1 converting
The
religion.
rise of Islam. Make it make sense for me.
This guy wouldn't show his face on camera, and this conversation kept going for a few minutes, and he demanded that we deleted the footage of the interviews that we took here on the street. I said no, and he said, you better go, and we're going to make sure you leave. I've never been in a situation like that while I've been filming, where somebody comes out of nowhere and wants to take the footage. I was watching a video prior to this video, and there is a Somali gang war going on here inside.
A Somali no-go zone, bro. I could understand, if it was Mormons, I could understand if you got rolled up on in a Mormon town by a bunch of Mormons, like, we don't really take your kind around here, I could understand if it was the Amish, right? If you were wandering around in Pennsylvania, Dutch country, and a couple of dudes and horses and buggies pulled up, it took them a while to get there, but you'd have heard the cloppity clop from coming, down the street and shit. But dudes and horses and buggies would have pulled up and be like, we don't really like you coming around here talking to our gals and stuff, right? I could understand the Amish, right? But a Muslim no-go zone, hell, I could even understand if it was like the Mennonites or something, right? A Muslim no-go zone here in America.
Of the apartment complexes, apparently. I think we just went upon a gang, and I didn't know that they were a gang. And right now, he said, you better leave, and we're going to make sure you get out of here. So right now, there's somebody following from behind, making sure that we get out of this place. Not the most friendly welcome here into this part of Minnesota.
Not the most friendly welcome here in this part of Minnesota. Let's play a little game here, right? How Islamic is the fraud in Minnesota, y'all? On a scale of 1 to Muhammad, how Islamic is the fraud in Minnesota? So I have here a list of names of people who have been caught in a $1 billion fraud scandal in Minnesota. And 75 of those 86, I think, names read as follows. The following individuals are named in the indictment, United States v. Amy Marie Bach et al. Indictment. Amy Marie Bach. Abderkerm Abdullahi Idile. Salim Ahmed Said. Abdul Qadir Nur Salah. Ahmad Sharif Omar Hashim, also known as Salah Donyal. Salah Donyal? Is this nigga a rapper? Salah Donyal? This nigga got Islamic bars? It's a long list, y'all. Abdi Nur Salah. Abdi Hakim Ali Ahmed. Ahmed Mohammed Artan. Artan sounds out of place in this group of names. Abdi Qadir Ainanshi Mahmoud, also known as AK or Ak. Abdi Nasir Muhammad Abshir. Asad Muhammad Abshir. It occurs to me reading all these names out loud live on this YouTube panel. I feel like I'm triggering all kind of like CIA watch list algorithms. Like if you say a certain combination of words, you probably trigger like a CIA computer algorithm. They just start watching you a lot more closely after that. Like, I'm going to be on a watch list now. I feel like I done worked my way into some type of network thing. I'm going to have to be a really good boy for like 2 years just so they know, I'm not one of those guys. Abdinasir Muhammad Abshir, Assad Muhammad Abshir, are they related? Abdinasir Muhammad Abshir and Assad Muhammad Abshir of the Minnesota Abshirs, they run Mikado Food Site. They must be cousins. They might even be brothers. You never know. You never know. Hamdi Hussein Omar, Ahmed Abdullah Getty, Abdi Rahman Mahmoud Ahmed, also known as Chef Abkos. The nigga said his name is Chef Abkos. What does that even mean? Chef Abkos. Abdiaziz Shafi Farah. Abdiaziz, all right, no, let's skip that one. Muhammad Jamal Ismail, Muhammad Ibrahim, Abdi Majid, Muhammad Noor, Saeed Shafi Farah, Abdi Wahab Malim Afkin, Mukhtar Muhammad Sharif, Hayat Muhammad Noor, Kamar Ahmed Hassan, Sarah Muhammad Noor. Even Sarah's are named Muhammad, or his name is Sarah. It's probably Sarah. That's not Sarah, that's Sarah. And just so you know, reading all these Arabic Star Wars names is like causing me pain. It's painful to say these names like this. Like, I need a drink. Saying all these desert names makes you thirsty. Just like the names themselves dry out your mouth. It sucks all the moisture out of the air saying all these desert names. Abdi Wahab Ahmed Mohammed, Filsan Mumin Hassan, that's an interesting one. Guhad Hashi Saeed, Abdullah Nur Jasal, Abdul Abubakar Ali. That's like a famous name. Abubakar Ali. Yusuf Bashir Ali. Haji Osman Salad. An Osman salad. I wonder if you saw that on the menu. Would you order an Osman salad? It's probably like some Turkish shit. Olives and feta cheese. A little bit of shredded goat's meat. Actually, it doesn't sound quite bad, honestly. Fahad Noor. Anab Artan Awad. Sharmarki Isa. Sharmarki sounds kind of like a ghetto name. Sharmarki Isa. Fahia Mahmoud. Liban Yassin Ali Shir. Ahmed Yassin Ali. Kadar Jigra Adan. Shamarki Jama. Ayan Jama, Asha Jama, they got the whole Jama clan. With Jamin, oh shit. With Jamin, we got the whole Jama clan, y'all. God damn. Shamarka Jama, Ayan Jama, Asha Jama, Fartun Jama, Mustafa Jama, and Zamzam Jama. I heard Zamzam was a gangster. I heard Zamzam give it up crazy. You don't want to mess with Zamzam. You do not want to mess with Zamzam. I think they should let Zamzam go, honestly. Honestly, I think they should free Zamzam. Zamzam a real nigga. Zamzam a real nigga. He give it up for the streets. You gotta free Zamzam. The rest of the niggas, they gotta figure it out. But Zamzam, he give it up crazy. You gotta let Zamzam go. Bakam Adisu Madasa, Hadith Yusuf Ahmed, Hana Markane, Makfira Hussein, Muhammad Noor, Abdul Jabbar Hussein, Muhammad Ali Hussein, Lul Bashir Ali, Malada Ali, Kaswar Jama, another Jama. Got all these Jamas. I know you Jamas ain't out here tripping like it's sweet. Like, you better chill. Feds is watching. Abdi Kadir, Abdul Kadir Awale, Kajra Abdi, Ayan Farah Abu Kar, Sade Osman Hasi, Sharon Ross, goddamn Sharon's. There's always the Sharons in there messing it up. I tell you, there's always a goddamn Sharon in the mix making everybody else look bad.
Want to be masculine showing, but bend over bandits.
Saeed Ireg, Najmo Ahmed, Ikram Yusuf Muhammad, Suleiman Yusuf Muhammad, Aisha Hassan Hussein. Damn, 71 years old. Damn, you cooked. Aisha's company allegedly received $2.1 million in food aid dollars, and she allegedly paid $166 in kickbacks to Ikram in exchange, bro. They had a great scheme going. Sarah Sharif Osman, Shakir Abdinur Abdul Salam, Fadumo Muhammad Yusuf, Gandhi, a nigga named Gandhi. They got Gandhi, y'all. We are not fucking around. We got Gandhi. That's how you know we mean business, bro. Gandhi gonna get this work. Want to hear none of that peaceful, I'm an activist, I'm non-violent. I don't want to hear none of that. You be non-violent in the FBI holding cell. We got Gandhi, nigga. Nobody is getting spared. Anybody can get it. All right? We got Gandhi. That's what Trump is doing. Trump got Gandhi.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
You know, speaking of Gandhi, I'm tired of everybody acting like he was this great dude. He was a little skinny, weird Indian pervert. And I'm tired of pretending he wasn't, all right? Gandhi deserved to get what was coming. Gandhi gonna get this work. Hoda Ali Abdi, Hebo Dar, Dorothy Jean Moore. Dorothy Jean Moore. Gotcha, bitch. Hussein Farah. Ahmed Naji. Ahmed Naji. Sheik. I tell you, this shit hurts your voice. It literally hurts your throat talking like this. And Muna Wais Fidheen. This shit literally causes you pain to talk like this. Could you imagine coming from a culture where talking too much causes you pain? No wonder these niggas be all angry and violent and shit. You literally can't talk it out in this language. The more you talk in this language, the more pain you get in, and the more angry you become. Because you in pain now, and you making me talk more. Like, you know what? I'm just take this nigga head, man. I'm tired of talking all this bullshit. It literally hurts to say these words, and you think I'm gonna talk it out with you? No, nigga. No, we taking heads, bro. We taking heads. Now I understand why they're so violent over there, bro. It is almost impossible to talk it out in this language. It takes way too many words, bro. You get frustrated, and next thing you know, a whole village wiped out. Can we get a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Muhammad Ali? No, yeah, listen, might as well add them in too. Shit, we handing out everybody, handing out indictments to everybody, y'all. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali. We just gonna make him one big super nigga. A 7-foot Muslim nigga. Whatever. We doing everything tonight. Everybody can get this work tonight.
Well, US President Donald Trump has revoked special immigration status for Somalis living in Minnesota, citing explosive but unverified allegations of large-scale fraud. A report from the Manhattan Institute claims members of the Somali community siphoned off millions of dollars in state subsidies and funneled the money back to Mogadishu, where some of it allegedly reached the al-Qaeda-linked group al-Shabaab. The report also says the Somali diaspora sent $1.7 billion home in 2023, more than Somalia's entire national budget. Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz has accused Trump of targeting a vulnerable minority. Well, with us now, Saeed Ibrahim is the founder and editor of the Somaliland Chronicle. So, Saeed, welcome to the program. Good to see you again. So, US taxpayer money ending up in the hands of Al-Qaeda. How on earth does something like that even happen?
Well, so you've touched on a lot of numbers, and unfortunate, but Minnesota is becoming a mini Somalia. So basically, we have 3 back-to-back large-scale frauds that basically cost the U.S. taxpayers, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, the latest allegation, which is actually just coming to light, is the fact that people are claiming that their kids are autistic and actually getting a kickback, even though the child is actually healthy. So in other words, 1 in 16 child, a child in Minnesota of Somali origin is classified as autistic. This is just numbers that boggle the mind.
Yes, it's a racket.
So that's the latest scheme.
Mhm.
Another one involves housing, and it basically exploded somewhere from 3 million to $100 million in 2024. And
Wow.
obviously, we all know our future, and something like 50 people being convicted, all of them again from the state of Minnesota and Somalis. So to sum it up, all of this money, as well as people basically are not invested in this country. What they really do is the money gets repatriated, and it goes back to Somalia. And unfortunately, Somalia's government is, as uncomfortable as it is actually al-Shabaab. So whether they tax it, extort it, that money is one way or another ending up in actually the hands of al-Shabaab.
So you've got the corruption basically being exported from Somalia, which is a failed state, to the heart of the United States, where Americans are paying for Al-Qaeda, essentially. Well, you've been warning about this for a long time, haven't you, Saeed? And this is why you say Washington should be engaging with Hargeisa and Somaliland, not Mogadishu and Somaliland.
100%. And again, Somalia is a criminal enterprise with a flag, right? And again, al-Shabaab actually governs Somalia. And again, I'm not, sure that's even the right word to use for a terrorist organization to run a country and actually tax it and do all sorts of things. But the Somali government with the flag and the ones that show up at the United Nations don't actually govern anything, right? So for that very reason, I think it behooves the United States to actually, and again, President Trump is kind of making all of the right decisions of, basically unplugging or turning off the spigot, if you will, of keeping these fake governments afloat. So I think, it's the right time to engage people that actually are in charge of, their territory, as the president himself put it.
There had seemed to be some momentum towards President Trump recognizing Somaliland. He did mention it, didn't he, in one appearance a couple of months ago. What happened? Do you still think that that's a possibility?
It is a possibility, and I think like the movements that's kind of heading towards that direction. Even though Senator Ilhan, who's been asked recently, kind of left it off.
That's Ilhan Omar you're talking about.
Ilhan Omar, the Somali representative from Minnesota. But what's really happening is that obviously countries don't fall in love with another country and say, well, they're doing all of the right things, let's just recognize them. I mean, everybody believes that Somaliland really falls in that sweet spot of being a strategic partner, but at the same time, kind of checking off a lot of, boxes when it comes to democratization, rule of law. Again, much better than many countries in the region. So things are kind of looking up, but they will take time, and we ought to be prepared for that.
All right, Saeed, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Saeed Ibrahim there from the Somaliland Chronicle.
So I told you guys about the autism scandal. Apparently, the Somalians can't have a couple of babies without half of them coming out autistic. So that's just unnatural. It's abnormal statistically. And the thing about this whole Somali scandal, I noticed a lot of white folk coming out for the Somalians, not so many black folk. Even though black folk love to talk about this immigration thing like it's slavery returned, like slave catchers are on the hunt again.
Telling you, I don't believe anyone is an illegal alien. That's a terrible term to use about anyone.
It's illegal. It's a legal term.
It's not a legal term. They used to call black people slaves legally, and it was wrong. Let's stop dehumanizing people. Let's start treating people right. Telling you, I don't believe.
And so even though, our Congress has decided to extend all of their black political credibility to the Latino illegal community, I don't know how Pan-African Congress really is. And at the same time, like I said, Pan-Africanism is kind of on the downslope. It's under a lot of pressure right now. The Pan-Africans aren't really as strong as they used to be. Let me read this super chat real quick. Shout out to who's that? True Hype. Shout out to True Hype with the 5 ball. He said, Hood, remember the Somali rapper that was putting together a doc and was forced to shut it down to destroy the footage? I had no idea that happened. It wouldn't surprise me though, because that's how the no-go zones work. I mean, they really are serious about that stuff, They're not like American criminals, These third world criminals, jail is still a vacation to them. But shout out to True Hype. Thanks for the 5 ball.
You are always in Africa. You got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn, the band festival, the African festivals. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth. You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language, but they know less about their history than you and I do. So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language,
hold on, what in the Pan-Africanism is he talking about? I thought people from the continent, they had wisdom and culture and knowledge and morals and values and history and greatness. How are you talking about the motherland people like this? Bro, what are you doing?
Language, but they know less about their history than you and I do. So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people with no respect for themselves as human beings, And then because they speak a language, try to make you play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have. The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American. Most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race and then we have an ethnic place. We African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or something. That's his ethnic nation.
Also, there's no country called Pan-Africa either. There's no country called Africa, and there's no country called Pan-Africa. The Nigerians are not Pan-Africans. The Ghanaians are not Pan-Africans. The Kenyans are not Pan-Africans. The South Africans are not Pan-Africans. The Egyptians, the Somalians, the Eritreans, the Ethiopians, the Moroccans, the Libyans. None of these people are Pan-Africans. A lot of those people actually hate each other, and it's on sight when they see each other.
Racially, we are together, but economically, we may well be enemies. And we have to be clear on that, that our economic enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, we had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement. You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement. We had a couple of people in Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and Mugabe, but most of Africa never gave a damn about a Pan-Africanism because they're still bogged down in the colonial slavery of European Judeo-Christian indoctrination, which is worse than anything that we've suffered. Worse than anything that we've suffered. The illusion of the clothes and the language make us think we're dealing with somebody that has some African purity culturally and spiritually. You're dealing with a confused, backwards Christian that love Europe more than they love their own ancestors. They would not even use an African word for God. You know, in Ghana, if you talk about being a traditional African, you might get beat down in the street. You understand? You're ostracized on the radio. Movies are made to show African culture as being the devil, while Christian culture is coming in as the savior. This is TV shows and on TV in Nigeria and Ghana every day.
How about that Pan-Africa, y'all? One time for Pan-Africa. And you know, I done thought I heard it all. And hell, I've said some outlandish, far out, you know, hard to connect the dots. I can't believe this nigga would have said some type of shit. I thought your name was Hood Conservative. How you gonna talk like that? I've said all kinds of crazy things here from my perch doing this YouTube thing. I have never, no, I don't think I've ever made a connection as crazy as this one right here, bro. Pan-Africanism is white supremacy. Yes, I repeat again. I'm going to say it one more again for the slow kids in the back. Pan-Africanism is white supremacy. I hope you niggas understand. You trying to do all this connect to the motherland bullshit. That's what the white man wants you to do. That's what the white man wants. He wants you to go back to Africa. He wants you to chase a zebra. That nigga wants you to try to steal a lion's tooth so you can pretend to be a man on your 16th birthday. He wants you to do all of that shit, nigga.
Pan-Africanism is a form of white supremacy. White supremacy is a system that maintains and refines race as a primary axis of identity, social organization, and political action. Any ideology that centers racial categories as essential and immutable contributes to the maintenance of the racialized worldview created by white supremacy. Pan-Africanism centers Black racial identity as essential to collective solidarity, political mobilization, and cultural revival. By centering Black racial identity, Pan-Africanism maintains the race-based worldview that white supremacy originally imposed. Systems that maintain the structure of white supremacy, even under inverse moral aims, are functionally equivalent to white supremacy in perpetuating the racial order. Therefore, Pan-Africanism is a form of white supremacy. Pan-Africanism defines its identity in opposition to whiteness and thus remains bound to the framework created by white supremacy. Identity is often formed through oppression of the other, and white supremacy established racial categories including black and white. Pan-Africanism embraces a collective black identity in opposition to whiteness. If an identity is formed through opposition to an oppressive structure, it remains tied to that structure. Therefore, Pan-Africanism is still entangled with the framework of white supremacy. Pan-Africanism's focus on resisting oppression can lead to a form of resentment where identity is shaped by opposition and the status of being oppressed. Nietzsche's concept of resentment describes how a group can develop its values in opposition to those who appear stronger, which leads to a moral framework centered around victimhood. Parts of Pan-Africanism emphasize resistance to oppression as a core part of identity. And when an identity is shaped primarily by opposition to an oppression, it can create a sense of specialness rooted in being oppressed. And this can lead to a cycle where the movement's identity and purpose are tied to the existence of an oppressor, rather than a positive vision beyond it. Therefore, parts of Pan-Africanism often falls into a pattern of resentment rather than embracing the great contributions of our ancestors. The presuppositions of Pan-Africanism lead to an infinite regress problem that challenges the coherence of its racial categories. Pan-Africanism presupposes that individuals of African descent share collective identity rooted in a common origin in Africa. The out of Africa theory suggests that all human beings ultimately trace their ancestry back to Africa. But if all human beings have a common African origin, then the distinction between black and white becomes blurred since everyone has the same origin. Where does black end and white begin? And this leads to an infinite regress problem where defining who is black and who is white relies on arbitrary historical points rather than a clear boundary or definition. Therefore, the foundational racial categories that Pan-Africanism relies on are destabilized by the infinite regress problem.
Now, in short, I halfway agree with this kid. Halfway. In that, when he describes the inherent problem of making your identity intrinsically linked to an oppressor oppressive type of dynamic. I'm oppressed and he's my oppressor. When your identity is inherently wrapped around that, it does create a de facto white supremacy in your mind, right? And this has long been a charge against the so-called like pro-blacks and all that. Like, by even believing in something as preposterous as white supremacy, you are elevating white people to a level that the vast majority of them themselves, they do not even look at it that way, nor do they operate in anything that's approaching that type of vision. But you can't convince these dudes otherwise. But I do think the kid is on to something. I think he's been a little bit too polluted by leftist thought that he's almost incoherent. But I do think there is some truth in that. When he's saying like Pan-Africanism kind of creates a built-in framework where, you know, white supremacy is the supremacy that you're under. Therefore, it promotes white supremacy. Like, I kind of get the logic that he's working out, much in the same way I've criticized like the sort of Black American origin story as something that's inherently weakening. It creates a situation, it creates a narrative where the women are looking at you like, you know, you're a loser, why should I? And so I do think he's kind of on to something. However, I think it's like his mind has been kind of bent and polluted by the leftist college system. He can't quite get to the heart of it, but he's close, right? He's definitely getting somewhere. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap this one up for the night. Make sure I didn't miss any super chat. Shout out to Lasers with the $2 super chat.
None of these niggas have motion except for me. There has to be one real nigga left in America, in this damn country.
And shout out to True Hype with the $2 super chat at the end. He says he was trying to highlight his culture / community. And I think this whole thing about white supremacy, it's like the final boss for Black America, and that I think Black people. Now, I was tempted to kind of explore some of this content tonight, but I went in a different direction. But I've been working on a series, Blinded by the White, and I was going to take another pass at it because Black folks spend a lot of time, especially like online. You wouldn't really notice it if you were just like one singular person doing normal things. You might never notice it, but when you're online, you can kind of harvest and collect these little videos, and it creates a picture that is a little stark. But I've noticed Black folks say the craziest things about white people. Black people really do just make up. We just imagine a white boogeyman that is a lot more powerful and a lot more dangerous than I think even white people want to be. It's like you're giving way too much credit, bro. But maybe we'll come back at that another time. But I'm going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in the audience. Appreciate you guys pulling up for the night. We are going to put this one in the can, and I will catch you guys later. Have a good evening, y'all.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.